if you were listening. Now you can see the little bit of stuff foaming. Now, assistant, tell us what that foaming stuff is on top.
This foam, we have come up with a special name for it. It is called air bubble goop, or ABG.
Okay, we've got the roiling boil, okay? If you'll look in there, assistant, production assistant, we're going to add all 5 cups of sugar in here right now. Are you ready? Let's just pray without Grandma in the room that it is roiling. That's all I can say.
Right next door on the next room.
Okay? That looks pretty roiling to me.
Well, stop stirring for a second.
Yeah, it's pretty roiling.
Yeah, that's roiling.
Okay, here we go. All 5 cups of sugar. 1, 2, bingo. Okay, all 5 cups. Now what we're going to do, Suzanne, is you can notice here, take a look in the pan. The sugar is kind of clumped up, and that's obviously kind of like throwing dirt on a fire. Okay, the fire has gone down a little bit. Now we're going to be stirring this until we bring it to a second roiling boil. Now at the second roiling boil, what we are going to do is we are going to set the timer for 2 minutes. We royally boil it for 2 minutes, and then at which point we will turn the fire off. And at this point it becomes critical. We're going to grab our jars, and then we're going to dump the hot water out, and we're going to put them on the sink after drying them out a little bit. We're going to take 5 lids. We're going to put the 5 lids in some very hot water in a bowl, just like this. And then we will be all ready to pour this liquid into the jars. Okay? So we're going to bring this to a second roiling boil, and it will take just about 3 to 4 minutes to do that. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're now at the point where we've added the sugar, and it's taken about 8 minutes approximately to bring this to a second boil. Now, this becomes critical. We want this to be a nice full roiling boil, at which point we will set the timer for 2 minutes. Okay, so we want to stir this at exactly 2 minutes on a nice full roaring boil. Now, this is one issue. Grandma says that you have to turn the heat down just a little bit at the second boil because it may boil all the way over the sides of the pan. So at this point I'm going to just turn this down.
What do you set the heat on?
Just to about 3/4, okay? Just to about 3/4. And now I'm going to set the timer for 2 minutes, okay? I want to make sure I don't turn it down too far.
Yeah, because if it doesn't boil enough, it's not.
Okay.
Won't do anything.
That's a pretty good boil. Now I'm going to set the timer for 2 minutes, and when it gets to the 8, we are going to turn it off, okay? And all I want to do is keep stirring, make sure that this doesn't start to go up over the sides of the pan. If it does, I want to turn it down. Grandma, do we have any words of wisdom at this point?
You ought to take that tape home with you, and then when you start making it, run it, and you'll know how to.
Okay, it's getting a little bit high, so I'm going to turn this down just a tad bit. See how high that's getting? I don't want to go over the top, of course, but it is boiling pretty good, okay? At the end of 2 minutes, we're going to turn this off, and this is what I'm going to do at that point, Suzanne. I'm going to grab those jars.
2 minutes, so.
Yep. 2 full minutes, because if it doesn't, it won't. If you don't boil it the nice 2 minutes, then you won't get it. It won't set up. Is that true? Okay. And then when I let this thing sit, while this is sitting, the ABG, the air bubble goop, will begin to crust on top, and you need to let that sit a little bit. Grandma just read the directions, and you need to let that sit just a little bit. And then I'm going to grab the jars, dump out the hot water, dry them quickly, put them on the counter with a little half pint, and then I'm going to skim the goop off into this bowl, as you can see, which we'll show you in just a few minutes. This is ABG goop, okay? Now, Grandma's ABG goop won't have quite as much jelly in it as mine because I skim a little heavy. Okay, and then we're going to put the lids in hot water, and then we will proceed from there. So it has been exactly 1.5 to 1:45. And just 15 seconds. I'm going to turn this off.
This is boiling real good.
Yeah, it's boiling pretty good.
Good.
Nice roiling boil. Okay, let's see. Is it to the 8 yet? Is the timer to the 8? I'd say it's there, wouldn't you, Suzanne? Okay, I'm going to turn this off, okay? I'm going to turn this off. Okay, all the way off. Take the spoon out. I'll stir it until, just for a minute, until the, so it doesn't burn. As you can see, it's kind of coming down now. Things are slowing down. Okay, now I'm just going to let it sit so that the ABG can start to form on the top. Now I'm going to go grab my jars. Here's the jars full of nice hot water. Okay. Okay, I'm going to empty those out.
Mark, why were they full of nice hot water?
Well, Grandma, I'm guessing so that when we pour that boiling hot water into these jars, the jars won't break. Is that true?
Right. You want hot water in your jars so your jars won't break.
Right.
When you
Is
pour in
true?
that
Okay,
hot
so I'm going to
jelly
go ahead and
juice.
come over here, put them down just for one moment. Is it bad to put them down this way?
Yeah.
Is it?
Did you dry them?
Not yet.
Oh.
That is pretty bad, but
Okay, now I got to dry these little babies quick. Oh, fast. Be very careful. Go very quick. It's okay to have a little bit of water in the bottom. It's a little
You
okay.
can't dry the bottom, it's too,
You can't do what? You can't get down there. Okay, 3 pints and 1/2 pint. Okay, here's the 1/2 pint. I can get to the bottom of that one. Okay, we really don't need that anymore. Oh,
Whoa! They're off.
and it's Seabiscuit in the lead by a length and a half. Around the 3/4 turn comes. Okay, now I'm going to put all the big ones in the front row here. Okay, now I'm going to go quickly get my lids. Put my lids in the hottest water that I can. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get as hot water as I can get. Okay. Okay, nice hot water for the lids. We put the lids over here.
Don't forget the ABG, Mark.
The ABG. Now here's the ABG. Okay, now see how this has kind of formed a little stuff on top, Suzanne?
Cruddy foam.
That's
party.
the ABG, Air Bubble Goop, which Sherry has. Now we don't want that going into the jam, you understand? So we're going to skim that off. Now Grandma wouldn't get any jelly at all if she skimmed, but I'm not quite as delicate and I get a little bit of jelly, but that's okay. We're going to skim off.
that jelly
You sweat over it.
Okay, now we're going to just continue to scoop this stuff off.
Skim that foam,
Oh, I got a
Mark.
little bit of jelly. I'm a little embarrassed. Okay, so almost all the goop's off
She's
there.
taking a picture of it and probably spilled something jelly.
Okay, now we've skimmed the A assistant BG goop. Now I'm going to get 2 hot pads. Okay, here's 2 hot pads. And now we've got to pour the jelly into the hot jars. Okay, now the secret is I don't want to spill, especially for the video.
Good to the last drop.
Okay, the jelly's in the jars. I did spill one small bit. Now what we're going to do, Suzanne, is we're going to take these lids out of the hot water. We're going to dry them. Okay, we're going to dry the lids. And then we're going to put those lids on the jars. Like that. Okay. Dry each one of those. And there are how many helpers?
3
How
left.
many jars? 4. 3 pints and a half pint.
3 pints and a half pint.
And the half pint is for half pints to enjoy.
Now as we put these lids on, we're going to go for the rings, and we're going to use the rings to suck those lids down on those jars. And hopefully then we get to the click portion of our training. Now Grandma's going to have to come in and help us with the click definition. Okay, the lids. Oh, Grandma, this jar feels a little bit. That lid seems strange. Okay, now we can get the rings, Suzanne. So we got 4 rings. Now, be careful. Caution, caution. Red flag, red flag. What you don't want to do is you don't want to grab these hot jars with your little handsies, because it could hurt pretty bad. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this rag around the jar, because these jars are obviously very hot. Put the ring over the lid, and then I'm going to give them a little crank.
That ring of fire, that ring of fire.
And the ring will help seal that. And here comes half pint.
Bum, 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 boom, 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 bum, bum, ba, da, bum.
Okay, there's something I'm forgetting. What was the other thing? Oh, the click test. Now, according to Grandma, I need your help on this one, okay? Now that we've got the rings, now that we have the rings on the jars,
Yeah.
we test them, okay? To see if they've sealed. Now, if they don't click and they don't move, is that true? They're sealed,
No.
okay?
No. Let me clarify this, and I hope I get it right. Okay, what happens is you're going to wait a while the jars cool and the
Right.
jelly cools inside. Ideally, after a while, you'll hear a slight click, and that means it's sealed. If you don't hear the click, then you may want to feel on top of the seal part, and if it goes down and up, that means it's not sealed. Hopefully you can wait a little bit and it will still seal. If it doesn't though, Grandma says it's still good.
It won't hurt it a bit.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the first 2 we did, Suzanne. And as you'll notice, I'm pushing in, and those are nicely sealed. These are not quite done yet. You can, they're a little bit. Here's one that's
High school.
not done yet either. So we just kind of wait a little while, just check them, and Grandma says even if they do click, that's okay, because they'll keep and they will be just fine. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I think concludes our jelly making. I'd like to just thank Grandma personally for passing on this tradition. Thank you, Grandma, for
Grandma didn't do anything.
thank you for
She
passing
sat
on.
and watched.
Thank
Grandma, you have to raise a jar.
Whoop, those are hot, aren't they?
No, not these. You have to raise a
Oh,
jar. The
right.
crew has to raise a jar.
The crew has to raise a jar, and we'll all click together.
It's called the jelly roll.
Are you supposed to move these, or is it okay?
It won't hurt.
Won't hurt 'em. Okay, here's our first jelly making demonstration, and thank you, great grandma, for this tradition that you've passed to us. We appreciate it. And let's click on that, everybody.
And may all your jelly be sweet.
And may everyone enjoy this on toast or muffins or whatever. Thank you very much.
Done. Now I can go do my homework. Hey! Hey, let me in! Guys? Guys?
We're picking it for you.